And we're gonna get started.
Thank you.
There's two of us.
Okay,
Me and you. Let's go. You ready?
I'm,
It's gonna be
I'm ready.
There's gonna be some pretty good stuff here.
Okay.
I want to say today we're going to interact with each other. Okay, you and whoever else attend. So I'm gonna do this a little bit different.
Okay.
So we're in week number 5. Can you believe it? Already 5 weeks into this. Am I recording? Yes, I am. Good. And so this is week 5, and this is topic 201. We're going to be talking about time management. Time management, I believe, is it's a very critical component for anyone's success in anything they do. It doesn't matter what you do. If you don't have time management, it's going to be pretty hard for you to succeed at anything. So yeah, time management, very easy topic to think about, but very difficult for us to make the most out of our time. I have a little gadget guy there, says running late. Oh no, I'm late to the office again. Wow. Back in the day when I worked in corporate, that was a big no-no. Especially, I was in upper management, so we were expected to arrive minimum. We were expected to arrive minimum a half hour before anyone else. In other words, in my early days of management, that was the very first thing that I learned. Being late is a big no-no. And I also learned in my early years, I was maybe about 24 years old when Motorola gave me the opportunity to become a manager for them. I learned that when you're late, you're not the only one late, but if there's 5 people there waiting for you, you just made you and 6 people late for a meeting. So time management. All right, welcome Julio. Let's dive in. Julio, I was just telling Veronica that today we're going to interact. So I'm going to be asking a couple questions. Whoever else joins, we will do it that way. Okay. So
yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So I don't know how many of you. Let me ask. Do you know who this guy is? Any of you? Who's this guy? Does anyone know?
Nope.
How about you, Julio? Any idea? Very.
I will probably.
I'll
I
give you
don't
a
know. I
hint.
mean, there's a lot of people that are like that. Maxwell.
He was a very wise man, and we use a lot of his knowledge still today.
Is it Maxwell?
No, that's not Maxwell.
I don't know.
That's Socrates.
Oh, Socrates.
The famous Socrates. He said, listen to this. Please take a note. Please take a picture of it. Oh my goodness. Even back in the day, I don't know how long ago this man lived. I want to say over 1,000 years. Actually, yeah, it's got to be over maybe 2,000. Actually, he was before Jesus, so a couple thousand years back. I don't know how many. It doesn't matter. He says, the unexamined life is not worth living. Let me translate that for you. If you don't keep time, if you don't keep record of what you do, it's not worth living.
Does that mean everything is like any activity that you do throughout the whole day, or just work wise?
I think he froze.
Yeah, I think he did.
But I think the answer, Julio, it's everything.
Everything. Okay.
Yeah, every minute, every second.
That's too much. Well, it's only 24 hours, right?
Yeah. I'm sure he's gonna cover why people that are very successful, they're successful because of their time management.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta invest it wisely.
Uh-huh.
Wait, I think he left, didn't he?
Yeah, he's coming back. He's recording. I don't know how that works.
Oh, then he's gonna have to start all over. So I guess we gotta log out and then tune back in. Oh no.
No, it's the same. It's the same site, but I don't know if he needs to stop and then restart.
How did that happen? I don't get that. Whoops.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry about that. I don't know what
Hello.
happened. Something with the internet again. Oh boy. Yeah, we do have a lot of people in the office today.
Yay.
Can you guys see it now?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome.
I
Okay,
think
welcome. We have more people coming in. This is a good thing. Awesome. Please let's mute all. Everybody's muted. All right. Welcome for those that just joined us. So where was I? So, oh, talking about smoking. So if you're a heavy smoker, this is the only, there's a couple examples. If you quit doing a bad habit like smoking, like me, in my early years, I was a heavy smoker. I used to drink a lot, like Ruben, even Ruben. Ruben and I kind of have the same story. We were in the brinks of having liver cancer. And I remember going to my doctor. He said, Adrian, I have good news and bad news. I'm like, bro, break down the bad news. Let's get it over with. I was about 28, 29 years old. He goes, Adrian, the good news is you're here and you're in time. If you continue drinking the way you are, yeah, your liver will pretty much, it's going to be badly damaged. And so I stopped drinking, I stopped smoking, and then I began a healthy life. And look, I mean, ever since then, I've gone back many times to get tested for my liver, and doctor says, "Wow, Adrian, it recovered. It's in perfect condition." So those are only great examples where time you can use it properly, and it will help you get better. But other than that, guys, we have to understand that time is the only equalizer. That we all have the same amount of time. Here it is. Time is the great equalizer. Everyone has the same amount. How is it that some of us have the same amount of time as someone named Steve Jobs, big dude that helped us with technology? So many great people that have lived in front of us, in front of our faces, that had the same amount of time that we have, 24 hours a day, but yet all they did is that they made different choices with their time. Guys, and I used to do this a lot back in the day when I was a little bit younger. I used to say a lot, I just don't have time. And another thing I used to say a lot, and it was not until I met Carmen, I used to say a lot, I'm a victim of circumstance. Amazing. I used to be this negative person that you would say, whoa, how the heck did this guy make it to an RVP? Well, you can change. Time will help you change. But saying I don't have time, that is the biggest lie on planet Earth, guys. Let me read my notes here, because we all have the same amount of time. It is impossible for you not to have time. That's stupidity, man. When someone tells you, oh, you know what, I don't want to do that Primerica thing, Veronica, because I don't have time, that's a big lie. Let me tell you, when I got recruited into the business, I was in charge of, Latin America sales for Motorola. And I used to work 14-hour days and I hated my job. I don't know how, but I went ahead and I found time to try this Primerica thing. So when someone tells you they don't have time, what they're really telling you is that what you're offering me is not as important as what I'm doing. That's what they're telling you. When someone tells you I don't have time, that's what it is. That's a good example. Now, what is a better statement, guys, to say is I made poor choices. I make poor choices with my time. That's a better statement. Now, again, I'm talking to big boys and big girls here. If you're a beginner, you should not be in this classroom because trust me, you will not like what I'm about to say. If you, I see you smiling, Vero. I love you, girl. You know me. If you are not a big boy, big girl, please do leave the room now. I do not want you here. You can go to 101 and they'll give you milk and Pampers. Over here, we're going to eat meat and potatoes. All right. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you give me a thumbs up? Okay, cool. Maybe I should say my statement. The opinions expressed here tonight are not those of Vasquez LTD or Primerica, but solely of those. This guy, Adrian Velez. All right, let's continue, guys. So when you say, I don't have time, you should be honest to yourself and look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm making very poor choices with my time. Or maybe another way of probably a better description of saying that I don't have any time, and you should say, you know what? I just don't want to waste my time doing this thing or whatever that is. Again, whatever that is, you know. The challenge is, you know, as an example, right now we have this challenge out, do one by one. And I don't know if Raul or the guys put it out, but we're going to have a little gathering for Christmas. If you do one by one, we're going to have only the top tier of whoever does it. Then you're going to get invited. The RVPs are going to treat you well. And most of you are going to say, I don't have time. It's Thanksgiving month. So you're celebrating the whole month of Thanksgiving, which is only really one day. And some of you to that challenge, you're gonna say to that incentive, one by one. Oh, by the way, the company also said if you do one by one, guys, everyone here, they're gonna give you 3 draft picks, 3 of them. That means Julio, if you're not winning the trip right now, bro, just go to work, do one by one. And every one by one that you do, the company's going to give you 3 draft picks. They've never done that before. Never. So you do 2 by 2, you get 6 times your name could be picked, and so on. All right.
That's good.
So make sure, guys, that you do not, in your subconscious or out loud, you say, oh, I don't have time. Okay. We should eliminate that from our vocabulary, guys. Okay. We should eliminate that. So another thing, I'm just reading here some notes. You know, some of us, we just make poor choices about our time. Or we make poor choices of where we put our time. The good news, I got good news. That was, you know, so good news is we can all choose something different. We can choose to do something differently with our time. You understand? We were not born winners or losers, you know, like how does Raul does it? I don't know how he does it. Losers. No, none of us were born winners or losers. Do you understand? Yeah. That's right. Thank you, Vero. I'm glad all of you should turn on your camera so we can see your expressions and to make sure you're paying attention. That would be a good thing if you turn on your cameras. So none of us were born winners or losers. It's our choice. And the what's gonna the separator here, guys, I promise you, whether you become a winner, that you separate yourself from the losers, it's how you manage your time. You know, if you ask the great ones, every single one of them will tell you that. So, you know, ese fue mi preámbulo. That was just the beginning. Let's go. All right, guys. So now, did I go too far? I'm sorry. I went too far. Okay. 3 ways to use time. Number 1, you can waste time, you can spend time, and you can invest time. You know, which time management model do you rather be under? Would it be 1, 2, or 3? Now, can anyone, just anyone, there's no right or wrong answer. Again, I was telling for those of you that came in later, I didn't say late, later. We're going to, tonight, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I want participation because right now we're getting, to another level. So who can, either open up your speaker, please, and tell me what is your understanding of the first one or the second one, whichever one you want to take a shot at. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. Go ahead, guys. Who wants to go?
Hey, Veronica.
Yes.
I would like to be always in number 3.
Okay.
Because 3 for me, it's invest. It means that I'm getting something out of my time that is gonna in the long run is gonna be productive.
Right. Awesome. That's good. So what's your definition of investing time? What's your definition?
Investing, it's I'm gonna put up the right time and the right activity.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. Very good. Anyone else? Any volunteers? I'm not going to pick on anyone. I just want volunteers, really. Anyone. Just take a shot at it. Or if you could give me examples of 1, 2, or 3, what do you think they are? Anyone? No?
Okay. So number 1,
give me some examples. What is
example
wasted
of
time?
number 1, wasting time will be like waking up, doing nothing in the morning, waiting for something to happen, or just watching TV, going into your phone and not doing productivity stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Spend time, that could also be like going into Facebook and see what other people are doing and not using it for advantage or and then number 3, I think it could be like spending time with prospects, training. We can be with our families, important stuff that is gonna help us in the long run.
Okay. Yeah, you were breaking up. I don't know if we're having a bad connection. Hold on. Someone else wants to join.
Yeah, that thing was blurry.
Yeah, sorry about that. Can you guys see the everything? Can you hear me okay? Yes? Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, very good, Veronica. Again, there's no right or wrong answer here. I will dismantle each one of these 3 for you, okay? Because you need to understand all 3 of them at some point in our life. Even today, if we think that we're on number 3 more than any of the others, we all spend time in each one of these 3s, but again, very powerful stuff. Okay, so now let's talk about wasting time. My definition of wasting time is trading time for nothing of lasting value. Please take a note of that. So this is when you trade time, you think of, let's think about money. Let's talk about money. You have money. Oh, I didn't bring my, oh, wait a minute. I don't have it here. But, you have money and you take, your hard-earned money and you go and buy, maybe you go and purchase a pair of shoes. I mean, your closet, you already have like 20 pairs of shoes. And then you buy that other pair of shoes just because. So it doesn't really bring you value. It's more you want to satisfy maybe your ego, maybe it's a want more than a need. See, we all need to have a pair of shoes, right? In order to walk properly and help us with our posture, all of that good stuff. But when you have 20, 30 pairs of shoes, now that need has become a want and you have probably an issue. And I'm not here to talk about that, but just so that we can have some ideas of what we're talking about here. When you are willing to trade your time for tangible item, that's when we're talking about maybe you're wasting your money on something that is not a necessity. Or what about purchasing an item that just because someone, at the mall, well, I don't know, we cannot go to the malls anymore, but those guys would come up, especially with Carmen in the beginning. When she first moved here, I would take her to the malls. Hey, let me ask you a question. Then she would buy these curly things. She doesn't even curl her hair. So that was a waste of her money on something she didn't need. Okay, so that's an example. Well, wasting our time could be here, some ideas. Some ideas. So when we waste our time, let's say, you're sitting in front of the TV. And again, I'm not against TV, a TV set. I think, I have one. I do. There was a period of my life where I did not have a TV. And trust me, I'm not showing off. Carmen was the manager for Verizon. We had free TV, all 975 plus channels that we wanted. We had, because Carmen was, she worked for Verizon. I mean, well, she did work for Verizon, but before that, she worked for Xfinity. For yeah, and but at one point in our lives, we decided to turn off the cable because we were wasting too much time watching TV. You see, so now TV could be a good thing for you to have because you can learn new stuff. You know, maybe from Disney Channel for educational purposes for our kids. Maybe you know Animal Planet. Guys, make sure you have your devices are you know need to be all muted for now. So and that's cool. But I'm talking about when you spend time, it's wasted spend time on a TV program that's gonna last 2 or 3 hours. I don't know if you all saw the movie The Godfather. It was like each movie was like 3 hours long. And yeah, I'm a big Godfather lover, the series. So man, talk about I wasted a lot of time watching those darn things and brought me nothing of value. So when you're wasting your time, guys, bottom line is when you have nothing of lasting value. Well, Adrian, I'm getting entertainment. Well, yeah, but it's not lasting value. It's not helping you grow. It's not doing anything for you. All right. So let me put it. So basically, nothing of lasting value. You put out this, a lot of time to a show that maybe novelas. Novelas is a good example. Novelas, they will drag you for months, 2 hours, maybe 3 hours a day. That's amazing. Now, here are some of my examples. Again, these are my ¿cómo se llama? Mis ejemplos. Facebook, fantasy football. I used to do all these things, guys. Uh, Knowing everything about baseball or football. Um, all these things are classified as waste of time, bottom line. If you talk to any of the big winners, the people that are very extremely successful, this falls in a category of waste of time. Why? It does not, and I mean, repeat it, you need to get this embedded in your head. It doesn't give you nothing of lasting value of your time. It doesn't. It just doesn't give you that. So, how about you guys? Anyone wants to take a shot at or give me some ideas of examples that you would think are wasting of your time? Anyone? Anyone? All right, maybe I need to pick on somebody. How about you, Luis? Luis Vargas. How about you, Sharon Vasquez? Hello, anyone there?
I have one that
Yes.
I'm guilty of.
Go ahead.
When I talk to my sister, I talk to her like for hours. And we talk about stuff that doesn't even matter, That's one of the things that I kind of noticed. And so the time passes, and then I realize that I didn't call the person that I was supposed to follow up, or I was in an appointment on time, or such a thing that I was
So,
supposed to do.
amiga, I'm not going to correct you. I'm going to guide you. That's not a waste of time. You were spending time. Like today, I spent like an hour and a half talking to my mom, my
Oh,
80-year-old mom that I love so much. That's not a waste of time. You're spending time. Okay, so that's not a waste of time. But I'm glad you brought it up. That's the reason why I'm bringing it up. I wanna help us kind of articulate this so that we have a full understanding of what is a waste of time and a spending of time. By the way, just so you know, with social media, with these things, these things are taking a lot of our time away nowadays, because there's a lot of little gadgets, that it's a walking talking computer that you can take it everywhere you go. So if you're not careful,
You can make a lot of money with it too, though.
yeah, you could, you're right, if you use it properly, absolutely.
That's
No,
right.
you're right. Again, if you use it for
That's the
things
gold mine right there.
absolutely, no, trust me, bro, this is my cash register, don't get me wrong, and absolutely, you can also make a lot of money, trust me, it's true, true. But when you use that product accordingly and properly, absolutely, yes. So, you know, I want to challenge all of you to keep track of some of the activities that you currently do that you can cut back in exchange to utilize those for self-development. You know, I was talking to Veronica the other day, and she even brought this up. I said, "Did you see this on Facebook?" She said, "No, I have a timer." Very good, Veronica. Veronica said that to me, and that triggered something in me. And I know that my iPhone, it does have that. It gives you time limits for social media and that kind of stuff. If you're a social media junkie, I'm not talking to any of you. Again, remember, this is going to go up on YouTube, so other people will see this. This is for people after us, okay? If you're a social media junkie, maybe you should need to put a timer on there so that you're spending not enough time. I mean, not a lot of time, maybe a half hour at the max, maybe 1 hour using those kind of things. All right, guys. Um, Now, what I want to make sure that we understand each other. That when I'm talking wasting your time on something, like right now we're spending time. This is spending time, and in reality, when you look at it, it's more like investing time. So that's what we're doing right now, because we're learning about something. Now, does that mean, Adrian, I need to be in the office 24/7? No, because being here is an activity that will give you no, it will not give you any results. It's an activity that you need, all right? But as an example, if you're here, it's not a waste of time, because now you could be you could do one of two things. You could be investing your time, or you could be spending your time. You got to be careful, all right? Now, to me, wasting time is I'm sitting at home watching Netflix at 7 p.m. at night, when I should be sitting maybe with a family doing a Zoom, or at a KT helping a family, with, especially when we are fully licensed, someone like me, I feel very guilty if I do that, guys. Okay. All right, good. We're going to continue. Now here's this is a good one. Can someone read it out loud for me, please? What does it say? Spending time. Verónica, ¿qué dice?
spending time, trading time for something of value.
Boom. So what do I mean by that? It is when you trade time for something of value. Time is spent necessary on just making money. Making money is a necessary thing. So I'll give you an example. Not all of you are full timers like me. So, as an example, if you work at a factory, if you do Uber, Lyft, um, DoorDash, whatever it is. There's different things that people are doing out there nowadays. Now you're spending time, and there's nothing wrong with that. So what you're doing is you're trading time. You're spending time because you're trading it for the value of money. All right. So let me give you one example. I traded 25 years of my life working at Motorola, and I was not happy. And I knew that I had to do something differently. That's why I made the move that I did. You see, I decided to trade, um, that time for where I'm investing more time for my future, to become a better person, which I have become. And so those are some examples. Now, let's make sure, because I just want you to know that all of us, we spend a lot of time here, spending time. So spending time is nothing wrong, but when you don't manage it, this is when you run into trouble, guys. It's right here. The problem with spending all of your time is that you have a time deficiency. And I'm gonna articulate that for you. And I'm gonna read some of my notes here. Now, there are things that are necessary where you need to spend time. I'll give you some examples. As an example, you have money. I just went to Sam's this morning. I spend money, which, by the way, I went crazy again. I don't know why. There's a newsflash. I don't know if this happened to you guys. There's a toilet paper shortage again. I don't understand why. I just ran up. Well, we were about to run out. I said, you know what? Let me go to Sam's and get some. There was none. So I went to Sam's and I spend money on something that is a necessity, but it's not an investment. Does that make sense? So the same thing goes with time. Some things that we have to spend time doing, but because it's a lot of things are a necessity. I hope I'm explaining myself correctly if I'm not um, confusing you guys. But let me give you some examples of stuff that we spend time on: church, family, exercise, work. If you work, that's why I put that on there. So let me give you some examples here. Church. Back years ago, I used to spend a lot of time helping out church, which I still do help out church. But what I do now is I give more of money, tithes and whatnot. So maybe someone else that has um, more time than I do to do that kind of stuff. But here's what I used to do, guys. I used to go on Wednesday mornings, all day Wednesday. And I used to be a member of Willow Creek. And again, nothing wrong with me doing that. But one time I was listening to our friend from Texas. Help me out. What's his name? The millionaire. Oh. And he said, not Bill Widow.
You'll
God,
render.
Bill Arender. Thank you, Bill Arender. Bill Arender. He was talking about, a rabbi in a book where it talks about God, faith, and finances. And he said something that just kicked me, man, out of my seat. He said, if you're not making millions, you should not be spending more time than you need to helping out the church, because what you're doing is you're going to steal time that you should be investing in growing your business so that you could have more time to spend at church, if that makes any sense. And I'm like, wow, this guy is amazing. So you know what? I honestly, I stopped doing it. I still help out, trust me, but I have a time management where I spend a certain amount of time where I help out church. Okay. Family is another one. It could take, you know, Sharon, you just had a baby, so you're gonna want to be with that baby all day, every day. But if you spend all your time doing that, pretty soon that baby's gonna be 18 years old, and you're gonna say, "Whoa, what happened? 18 years went by." Or what about people that go to the gym, guys? They spend 8, 10 hours, and their body looks, they're very fit. So when we spend too much time on something, it could give us what is called a time deficiency in order for us to get better. We need to monitor and track where we are spending time, because if you spend all your time these things, you will have a time deficiency. The big problem is spending all of your time on that. You will always have a time deficiency. The thing about it is you need to carve out the activities, and this is something that Veronica was relating to. You need to carve out the activities that will give you productivity, you know. So this is very dangerous, guys. If we spend a lot of time, you know, doing spending stuff with, it could be anything, it could be even be our family. We have to have a balance. We have to have a very well balance in order for us to don't that we don't fall in this trap, because otherwise, guys, before you know it, time will pass you by, and you spend a lot of time busy, but you did not get any results, probably the results that you were expecting out of life. And it's so sad because too many people get trapped in this. I call it like the rat race, wheel. And we never get out of it because we just don't understand that it's a time management issue, you know? So think about this. If you don't allocate to invest time to in other words, if you don't allocate the proper amount of time into the investment time pool, you will never have more time available for the freedom that you deserve, you know? So think about that, you know? Think about that. Sometimes we work 30, 40 years, and time is just going to go, drive us by, and before we know it, we may feel too old to do anything, you know? And it could be a very bad thing for a lot of us, guys. I've seen a lot of good talent come through this office, and I feel that because maybe we have not spent enough time explaining this very important topic. It's very sad that a lot of those good talents, they will never get to see the freedom that they deserve, or their families, because they were trapped in activities. I'm going to spend a lot of time on this one, guys, because by the way, about 80% of our time, our lifetime, meaning before you die, you're going to spend it right here, spending time. So let me give you some example. Some of us that have kids, and I'm going to talk about my kids because I'm going to use me as an example. I had Adrian, he's an awesome soccer player, and a lot of times we want to have our kids like my previous marriage. Wilfredo's not online, but if Wilfredo was on here in the call, he could tell you, me and his mom, we had him in baseball, piano, taekwondo. He was doing so many things at the same time. All we did was running back and forth activity here, there, and same with Alex. And what I learned from that, my lessons learned, was that I never helped my kids become really good at maybe one or two things. Now with Laura and Adrian, what I have done, because I'm using my time management more wisely, a lot of families, I see this. I have clients that they spend so much time with their kids, going from one soccer game to another. Guys, newsflash, we live in the United States of America. We do not live in Europe, Brazil, or Argentina, where, if your kid becomes really good in soccer, he could probably make a lot of money doing that. But here in the United States, the probability of that happening, it's very slim. Again, I'm not criticizing it. I'm just saying that's one of the things that I had to sit down with my son Adrian, because that was happening to us. I found myself I was on my run for the $100,000 ring, and I kind of hit a slump because he was in soccer, and that kind of it messed up my momentum that I had, and I had a momentum going. So what I did is I decided, you know what, we're going to spend more time reading together, which we do every night. Tonight is the night that they do it on themselves. So what we do is we spend time with our kids. Just giving you an example. So to me, I found out that it was more wise for me to spend half an hour of time reading with my kids anything self-development. It was going to help them become better at something. And then we decided, I told them, okay, guys, you need to pick one thing that you want to be good at. What is it that you like? And then those were the things that we did. And I tell you, ever since we did that, we saw in our family, in our kids' future, a paradigm shift. You know, when I started doing that, because we were spending a lot of time, especially Carmen, not me so much, just running around doing things that And so one of the things that we did, we sat down with our kids and we said, listen, the reason you're not involved in 17 other things like your friends is because you have a future that we care about. And you can't become expert in so many things. You can only be, maybe, why don't we concentrate and help you become really good at one or two things? And that's what we did. So, this is some example, guys. Again, this is my own experience. I hope that helps you. But, you know, investing time is one thing that we're going to talk about. And it's probably a topic that, and we're almost, we have another 15 minutes or so. I'm going to leave 5 minutes so we can exchange ideas, okay? Investing time, trading time for a larger amount of time, guys. So when you're investing time is when you trade time for a larger amount of time. Veronica kind of touched a little bit on this. Forward future, in other words. So what you're doing is you're investing on something that in the future is going to pay out for you. Cumulative amount of time that you will have in this planet, it's so much around the way you invest your time. It will pay you back for uses of things that you care about the most, which is time. What do I mean by that? When we invest time, what we're doing is we are preparing for our future. I don't know how many of you know how to use the compound interest calculator, but just to give you an idea, investing money is just like investing time. It's no different, guys. If you invest $100,000 in 30 years systematically, you will end up with millions of dollars. It is amazing that just by investing $100,000, you're going to make millions of dollars just in interest, compounded interest. This is something that we talk about here all the time with the leaders. We talk about, if you invest your time properly, if you invest your money, at the rule of 72, it's going to give you a 12% return. You're going to double your money. Here's an example. Let's say maybe if you invest and you put 3 to 4 hardworking years of time invested properly in doing Primerica, what if that could give you 30 years of freedom? 30 years of freedom where you could spend more time with your loved ones, where you can spend time with your wife, partner, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever that might be. If you're a single parent with your kids, whatever they may be. But think about that, guys. So if we invest time and then we invest that time properly, and then we just go at it, we put our head down, we go to work, that thing is going to pay you out in whatever it is that you do. Yeah, I'm talking about Primerica, but in reality, it's in anything you do in life. When we go really hard at it, most experts have said the timeline zone is between 2 to 4 hard working years. That's about the time that it takes you to get a bachelor's degree in college. Some people do it in 2 years. You know, the very smart ones. Average persons like me is going to take them 4 years. Same thing here in Primerica. You work really hard 3 to 4 years. That thing's going to pay you out. You become an RVP, and give you the time well spent. You know. Now let's talk about some examples. I'm going to give you some example of time well invested. When you delineate yourself from time, money equation, getting to the point where you don't have to trade time for money. When we work at a factory, we work for somebody else, all we are doing, guys, all we're doing is trading time for money. Not to show off, but today, I had a couple things. I had to do a lot of things around the house. I spent time. Sometime I did invest it because I did help out a client with investments, as a matter of fact. But some of my time today, a lot of the time today was invested, but it was a necessity. I had to do it. Now, if I would have been working in corporate America, there was no way I could have did that. And I've heard Raul, talk about, we hear about, like my wife right now, she's having to be in Colombia. Her father passed away. Her mother is very sick, afraid that something's going, I told her, hey, baby, hop on a plane, go, let's go. So right now, because I made that decision, we have the freedom to make those kind of things happen for our families. And when you're working for somebody else and you're trading time for money, that's not going to happen for you, bottom line. Now, guys, I'm going to end with this. A good question to ask ourselves is, what I'm doing right now, is it getting me out of where I don't want to be? That is something we should be asking ourselves every single day. Is the time that this time, am I wasting this time right now? Am I spending this time? Am I investing my time? How am I doing that? Guys, another great investment of your time, it's your health. I'm 58 years old. Trust me, today, thanks because I made an investment, not investment, but I paid attention, and an investment of my health. To me, right now I feel like I'm healthier than what I was when I was in my 40s. So here's another great example. It's impossible for you to become successful in anything if you don't spend time, and also spiritually, it would be another good one. So I believe those three things, you have to invest accordingly. So, we cannot, I think the bottom line is we have to have a well-balanced life, and time is the denominator that's going to dictate whether you become successful in life or not, guys. All right. Now, I don't mean to brag, but, my family is my everything. That first picture, most of you don't know him, but that's my son, Alex. That's Wilfredo's brother. Yes, my first wife is Laotian, so that's why you see his facial. That's why I decided to use his picture. And the baby he's holding, that's my man, Grayson. All he says when he sees me, Grandpa, I want to become an RVP, and I'm getting emotional. The one holding that plaque, RVP plaque, that's when we went RVP, it's my son, Adrian. He was only, at the time, that was in 2016, so now he's 15. Adrian was only 10 years old, not even, no. He was 11, 12, I can't remember. And the other guy next to him, that's Wilfredo Jr., that's my other grandson. And so look at that middle picture now. Guys, this is when I look at this stuff, brings me so much joy. That's Laura and Adrian in the middle, homecoming. They decided to take pictures together, and they said, you know what the heck, I'm going to take you to homecoming. And she's got a boyfriend, he's got a girlfriend, but they said, and in the last picture, guys, Adrian and Laura, they were the main characters on a huge major play that they go to a private school, by the way. For some of you, you may or may not know, they go to private schools. And this was Adrian's first, believe it or not, I promise you, I think Tassie went to the show. I was so happy when I saw him there. And also, Caesar also went to the show. This was Adrian's first show, guys. And because we made that decision, that little story I was telling you, he tried baseball, he tried football, he tried this, he tried that. I said, no, man, why don't you, let's try on something you're really good at. Now they do have a model. I have, I don't brag about it or I don't talk about it. I have a niece. She's very, very successful in Hollywood. Her name is Annalisa Velez. And Annalisa is the model that my kids want to follow. They say, you know what, Dad, we want to go into theater, blah, blah, blah. So, the school offers it. And you know what? Because we invested that time with them, today they're awesome. Right now, Laura got offered a couple things with colleges. Adrian, he was picked as the best actor in that show, man. And I tell you, it brings me so much joy, and I'm so proud of them. And one of the things why I believe that success is happening to my kids now is because we decided, guys, I promise you, I'm not bragging here. We decided, I'm being really humble about this. We decided to invest time properly with my kids, you know? All right, guys, that's all the time. I'm going to open it up for questions, comments. Please, I do need participation. I'm going to start up with you, Veronica. Please open up your mic, Veronica. Talk to me,
Okay.
what are you going to, I don't know, what was your take, as Assad always does and on our conference calls on Sundays? What was your takeaway? Are you already doing this? I mean, I know you were very successful in corporate America, and I know you know all these things. You're a very sharp individual. A lot of people don't know how talented you are. I do know how talented you are, but what did you have to say? Talk to me, girl.
I used to use an agenda when I was working for somebody else, and I was very strict with the agenda and with other people following it.
Uh-huh.
But when I started with Primerica full time, it took me a long time. I would say over a month to realize how to work with my agenda, because it was managing my time. I wasn't managing anybody else's time. So one of the things that I'm doing right now, and I'm doing it every day, I am scheduling my time, and I focus on investing time. And I have 4 areas where I focus, which is health, which in health means exercising, sleeping, and cooking. Because to tell you the truth, that was not my priority. And so recently I decided that I needed to put this in my priority and invest time in that. I figure out what I doing with my time, which is wasting time and time. And investing time now, I'm working 80% of my time in prospecting,
Okay.
recruiting,
Okay.
and 20% of the other time training and doing the appointments.
Okay.
And that's taking me a little bit, but I'm working in that, which that's part of my finances. I call it my finances instead of work. And then I'm also working in my family. I book the time for my family. So it's my health, my family, my spirit. It's education.
Okay.
Also education. It's very important for me. So I'm spending some time in education, and that's it. Those are I'm investing time in those areas.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out when to use the waste time, because I realized that when I have an appointment, I schedule, I don't know, half an hour before to be on time for my appointment. Sometimes I'm there early. And so that wasting time waiting for that appointment, I do something else like a phone call, return my phone calls, text messages, or other stuff that I got to do during the day.
Okay. Very
So
good.
that's
Thank
what
you.
I'm doing right now, because
Awesome.
that was one of the things that I had a hard time the first 2 months being full time.
Okay. Very good. All right, Veronica. What about you, Julio? Can you mute yourself, please? About you, Julio? You here with us? Thank you, sir.
Wait, what happened? What
What was
about
your
me? What?
takeaway? And just give us whatever, any feedback, please.
Well, I mean, I just the fact that it says, or it reminds you not to waste your time or to use it wisely. I
Okay.
think self development and always reading a book that is going to motivate you or at least shape into a better person every day. It's an excellent thing to do, such as exercising,
Yes.
reading the Bible,
Good.
and spending some time with the family. I completely agree with all of those. It's things that I try to keep for my own, daily use.
Very good.
But I mean, besides that, right now I'm just studying a book because I want to get the SIE, and then whatever's next after that. But right now I think now that I kind of have a clear understanding of how this works, now I can actually go and study and get my licenses, and
And
then
by the
practice what
way,
I've learned.
Julio, just so you know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So what you're doing, just so we're all clear, you're spending time studying. You're not investing. Does that make sense? But that's a necessity. You need to spend that time because eventually it will pay you out as an investment, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well,
Got
yeah,
it?
I'm doing both.
Good.
As
Yes.
reach out to people and at the same time study, because
Awesome.
one thing that Juan told me is I can't sell the dream if I'm living the nightmare.
Yep.
What can I tell you to be an RVP, or I could tell you about this, that? I mean, I've always loved to work for myself. I mean, and as I know, every entrepreneur has at least 7 different ways of income.
Right.
So I like to have options.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Anything else?
No.
Okay, cool. What about you, Sharon? Can you talk?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, how's the baby?
Good. Growing.
Nice. Okay, so what was anything you wanna tell us, or what was your takeaway?
Yeah, honestly, my takeaway was we just well, if anything, it just has to be management. There's time for everything. We just gotta, like you said, when people say when I don't have time. Well, we do have time. We just don't use it properly.
Right.
So there's time to study, there's time to be out in the field, there's time to be with your family. So there is time. We just have to manage it. Well, time management, pretty much what
Yeah,
it is.
that's right.
But it was a great training, and I think I honestly took a lot of notes and things that I know I can improve on as well. So but there's always room for improvement.
FYI, Sharon, when I saw the title, I'm like, oh man, am I going to teach people how to use time booking? No, it has nothing to do with that. I hope that was not your expectation.
No.
No, not you, but I'm talking for the whole group listening.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I didn't talk about it. That is something that I think this was more at a high level, like I said in the beginning,
Mhm.
because yeah, you do need maybe an agenda. That's micro. So you need an agenda. Of course, you need to have a calendar, whether it's electronic or something. You got to write it down. So I believe for us to make sure that we follow up.
Family wall.
Okay? Yes, there you go. There you go, Julio. And you know, we have to ink it, you know. So yeah. Okay, Sharon, anything else, Sharon?
No, thank you. It was a great training.
Awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much. I love you all. Thank you thank you so much for investing this time to get better. I cannot wait for all of us that are here in this call. We you know, for you guys to become RVPs, and one day or someday you're gonna say, hey man, I remember when we were listening to this stuff, and today we apply it, and here are the results, you know. Because that used to be me, you know. And trust me, we are all struggling. I'm struggling right now in my stage, but Raul, I love he's got the saying, we are all struggling at different stages. That's all. God bless you guys. I'm here to help each one, you know, whoever needs my help. Don't be shy to reach out and to any of us, the RVPs. Okay, guys. God bless. Stay safe, and have a good evening. Thank you so much. Good night. Good night, everybody.